Livingston and Tangela too, and our host Vincent Van Dahl, and he brings it to ya! Creature features, and all creatures, and all creatures! And the creature gonna get you tonight. You better not turn out your bedroom light. He'll grab your head and give it such a bite. You may even die, just from a fright. You ain't nothing gonna be, baby. You ain't nothing gonna be alright. Cause the creature gonna get you, baby. Gonna get you tonight.
Good evening and welcome to Creature Features. I'm your host, Vincent. Over to this side would be my stalwart butler, Mr. Livingston. And on this end would be my housemate, Tangela, who's typically a well-mannered young woman, though it would appear that today she has made Mr. Livingston somewhat rather cross.
Cross, I'm tempted to poison her tea.
What does she do now?
She replaced the contents of my cologne bottle with extract of Mephitis thiols.
I don't think so, mate, but you do reek of a skunk.
That's the liquid that... Oh, never mind.
Tangela mustn't. In her defense, Tangela says that Livingston laughed at her when she fell from the top of the staircase handrail and crashed upon the console table in the foyer.
Of course I laughed. She deserved it.
Enough with these two ninnies. Let us instead discuss tonight's show. Joining us as our guest will be artist Bryan Tedric. He designs and builds some of the largest and most interesting art pieces we've ever seen. Much of it has graced the desert terrain at the Burning Man Festival, and some of it may be familiar to you as well. He'll tell us the full story of his glorious career, show us some photos and videos of his work, and maybe give us some insights and behind-the-scenes looks on how he builds his creations. All this while we watch The Gamma People from 1956. This incredible British film has eluded us prior, but we shall correct that oversight this very evening. Starring Paul Douglas and Ava Bartok, the story revolves around a misdirected train car that takes its occupants to a mysterious land ruled by a dictator who uses radiation to control his young citizens. While the concept seems utterly absurd, the film has been well received by both viewers and reviewers alike. So who knows, you might like this film as well. So don't go away, for this to be another night of artsy radioactive delight, right here on Creature Features. Oh, how lovely. Stay tuned. Bryan Tedric, famous sculptor. Do you know if our viewers switch to Channel 4, they could watch The Midnight Man with Burt Lancaster?
I didn't know that, but it sounds good to me.
It's allegedly a good film. But no, we don't want them to switch. We don't want them to switch over because we've got a good show tonight. We've got you. We've got the Gamma People. We've got me. That's not why they watch, though. They watch for the guest and for the movie. I'm just like an added bonus or a negative. How are you, sir? Thank you for coming all the way out.
Well, thank you for inviting me. I'm glad to be here. This is the first for me.
So we need to explain what you do with pictures first. You need to see what this man creates because you could not bring any of these with you today.
They're rather large, yes.
They're rather large. Definitely large. So we're going to put a couple of shots up so you know what we are. We're going to talk about these things in a moment, but that is incredible. How did you get to be such, I shall call you a big artist?
Well, like everything, I started out small. I had a landlord who would trade rent for labor. And we started doing this thing around Christmas where he'd ask for, say, half a dozen cats or half a dozen turtles or half a dozen bears for family and friends. And
Made from metal.
So I'd made from metal, all welded together. Yeah, I had a studio on his ranch, and those eventually became larger. And finally, he asked me to make a full-scale horse, which I think was the first full-scale animal that I'd ever made. And it was so popular, I showed it in Santa Rosa at a show, and the city council member wanted to buy it on the spot. So we had a bit of a back and forth between the city and my landlord as to who would get the horse, but my landlord finally acquiesced and allowed the city to buy it.
And so it was for the city, and where did they put it?
It's right in front of City Hall. It's called Bucephalus.
Oh.
Yeah, Santa Rosa City Hall, on the lawn.
Good Lord. So this sounds recent.
Oh, this was a few years back. I've been doing this for a while. I would say this was maybe 2003, something like that.
Right. So you have been doing it a while.
Yeah, I've been making animals for quite a while. It seems to be my niche. Seem to have a knack for doing them, and so that really got things kind of rolling.
Right.
Doing that, I saw that there was an interest. I'd never been crowd rushed before, but when I was showing this piece in Santa Rosa, I had maybe 50 people just push me up against the horse. They were so interested in it. So,
how nice.
So that was an eye-opener.
Right, yeah. And that led to a long career of making more, which we'll show soon. But first we got to get to this film, The Gamma People. You've never seen this film.
New to me.
Neither have I. So it's going to be new to me. But from what I understand, our director screened it, and he says it's like the latter half of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. You've seen that film? No?
It's been a while, but yes, I've seen it.
With Dick Van Dyke and Leslie Ann Down, right?
Yes.
I think it was Leslie Ann Down. Yeah, wonderful film. But this will not be Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, but it'll be something close. So, all right, let's start the film. When we come back, we're going to look at some more of your work and hear how you got into this some more. But first, let's get to The Gamma People, 1956, and we'll see you on the other side of the break. You know, as a child, I always wanted to do that as well. Flip the switch and make the train go on a different track.
Well, I had friends who used to hop trains, and
oh, I hear that's fun.
It was fun for them. But I also had a friend in elementary school who had his leg removed trying to hop a train. Yes. So
no, you have to do it carefully. You cannot do it haphazardly. There's a YouTube video of this man who goes from city to city, right? And he has footage of all this, and it's incredible the places he climbs on a train and hides. There's this one where he's like in this giant storm, and he's on this little tiny piece of platform sitting under this thing, and he's filming the whole. It's great. I don't even know what it's called, but it's worth watching. All right, so I need to put this up on the screen. Take a look at this. This is Lord Snort.
That's correct.
And this thing, how much does that bloody thing weigh?
Well, I'm guessing it's about 7 to 10 tons.
7 to 10 tons. And you dragged this thing all the way up to Burning Man.
It was, yes, I did receive a grant.
Oh, okay. So you were able to hire U-Haul Moving or something
What Burning Man pays for are materials and transportation only. Labor's not paid for. So I supplied all the labor, built it myself.
How long did it take?
Hired a trucker. It took about 6 months.
6 months?
Yeah.
Like full-time?
Full-time. Full-time for me, for some people, is not full-time for me. I'd say I put in a good 50 hours a week for 6 months.
Right.
So it was quite an effort. But I think it was one of my more successful pieces.
Oh, it's completely amazing. Now, it looks like it's made from scrap.
Most of it is scrap. Try to save some money. And what's unusual about this piece is that it articulates.
Right.
And that the whole piece can pirouette, but the head also goes up and down.
Right.
So you can get both those things going at once, which people did. At Burning Man, people climbing on it, spinning it around.
Right. And so how do you balance something that large? You have to be very balanced for it to rotate, right?
It's actually simpler than you might think. I did have some heavy equipment, but I put it on rollers, like pieces of pipe.
Right.
The base. It has a round base, and so they're rollers. And with this heavy equipment, I dragged the piece until it reached the balance point, until it started to tip.
Right.
And determine that spot, and that is where the balance point was. But I can also add weight to one side or the other.
This is enormous. It's like, what, 30 feet long?
Yeah, it's a little bit over 30 feet, I think 38.
Right.
And 15 feet tall. So, yeah, it's just balanced on a greater scale. Everything balances at a certain point.
But if it were to fall, you would die. Right?
Only if I'm under it.
Right. Or someone else's. That's what would frighten me about doing this kind of work, is dying. Yeah, he's one of the bravest artists I've ever met.
Well, it's not a path without its blood and pain.
Many cuts.
Many cuts and burns. Burns in particular, because everything is welded.
Right.
Yeah.
But you have all your limbs, so there's that.
So far, so good.
All right, let's get back to this film, and when we come back, we can take a look at another one of your pieces. But first, let's get back to The Gamma People, 1956. Don't go away, because if you do, I'll be somewhat rather sad. Hello friends, Tangela and I would like to take a moment to compel you to join Creature Features TV. It is our new streaming service that offers you early access to Creature Features from your computer or your favorite set-top device. You can see the full archive of Creature Feature episodes, movies we've yet to present on the show, a library of items from the original program, plus many other items you won't find anywhere else. Your small yet generous subscription fee not only supports the operation of the service, but actually helps finance the creation of our show. It's a very inexpensive way to ensure that we'll be able to continue producing Creature Features for years to come. Not to mention it'll keep Tangela out of making mischief and wreaking havoc in the village as well. So please visit creaturefeaturestv.com to learn more. And thank you so much for your support. You do cause trouble.
This portion of Creature Features is brought to you by CreatureFeatureStore.com, the official merchandiser of Creature Feature accessories.
You know, Tangela. Oh, look! Sandwiches! Deluxe! Look at this. What a gorgeous photo of sandwiches. And look, it says turn page for recipes. And it's got recipes for a Monte Cristo sandwich, a steak tartare sandwich, Royal Club sandwich, and a Western Hero sandwich. Tangela, will you go to the kitchen and make me a sandwich? Guess not. Anyways, welcome back to the show. Bryan stepped away for a moment. I think he went to get one of his giant pieces of artwork, or not. But we'll be back to the movie soon, but we're going to do some mail because you sent us mail, and it's our job to read the mail, is it not?
It is indeed.
What do you have for me, Mr. Livingston?
I have one letter here from England with a stamp of the Queen.
Oh, nice. The Queen should be on it. You still got that skunk smell going on. I see she's teasing you. You know, I think there's like ladies at the pub that will like that particular musky aroma of yours.
Well, I'm told that if I use tomato juice, I could get rid of it.
Bathing in tomato juice could possibly do it. All right, this is from Miss R. Robbins in the UK someplace, of course. And she goes, where in the UK?
I think Plymouth.
Oh, very nice. All right, so she goes, Dear Vincent, Livingston, and Tangela, I'm a great fan of yours. You are both very handsome. Tangela is very pretty. I have been poorly. I need cheering up. May I have a signed photo of you three? Lots of love, Miss R. Robbins. You certainly can have that photo. It's on the way to you, love. And she put some extra gifts in here. Maybe there's something for you. Oh, look at this. Oh, it's a nice little heart type thing.
I think it's a wrist.
A wrist thing? You think so? Oh, and here's another one. Here's one for you.
There's my name on
You
it.
should put that on your beard somewhere. And one for me. Oh, this one's got a star. Mine has a star because I'm a star. I'm a has-been rock star. Am I not? Thank you so much, Miss R. Robbins, and we hope things are well in the lovely merry land of England. Next up.
Here's one from the Wheeler family in the UK.
The Wheeler family in the UK as well. Messages from home. That's what we should theme this one as. Hello, Vincent, Tangela, and Livingston. Hope this message finds you all well. My 75-year-old mum, me, and my brother love watching Creature Features. We found your show by chance, but love it. Have a great day. Regards, Wheeler family from the UK. Well, thank you so much, Wheeler family. You know, we're getting more people from the UK watching us.
Indeed.
We had a letter from Scotland
It's quite
a
surprising.
week or two past, right? Now, it's nice because I watch British television here, and they can watch American television in Britain. It's like
It's a small world.
no. It's like the United Nations of television. That's my theory. I could be wrong. Next up, last one.
Last one. This is
You know,
from...
she's teasing you with the skunk.
Yes. I'm trying to ignore it. West Palm Beach, Florida.
West Palm Beach. I've been there. It's a nice place. Have you been?
Yes, we have been there together.
Oh, that's right. All right, let's see.
I had to bail you out once.
Oh, was that the place?
That was it. Do
Okay,
you mind?
there's all kinds of things in here. All right, I'm going to take this one and this one, and I shall give the rest to the young lady to properly dispense. This smells better than Livingston. Tomato juice. I think it's a good try. All right. Hello and greetings to you all. My name is Jason Stocks, and I'm a writer and teacher from West Palm Beach, Florida. I love your show. Did he write that? Jason Stocks. Look at that.
Jason Stocks?
Nice. And I tell everyone to check it out. While some of the movies you play are hit and miss, most of them are miss, you three are always on point. What I don't get, though, is how Livingston remains so chill amongst the insanity. That's a question for you. How do you remain so chill amongst the insanity?
I have my Guinness at night before I go to bed.
Has his Guinness at night, and tonight he'll have his tomato juice as well.
And I meditate.
If I may, I'd like to suggest a film. Can you please play Lucio Fulci's City of the Living Dead, 1980? I think a lot of folks would tune in for it. You know, I've heard of this film, but I've never seen it, so we shall look into this. Please enjoy the gifts and some money for the channel, or put it towards drinks for the cast and crew after a long day. All right, so he's got an envelope, which I assume has money, and he goes, P.S. I'd be honored to be a guest on the show someday. Well, if you're in Florida, it's difficult to be a guest. What is this?
More
Oh,
gifts.
look at this. It's a spooky skull bracelet thing. You know,
Bracelet.
she tends to take my bracelets and turn them into anklets. I don't know why. All right, money for the show. What did he send us? You didn't even open this. It could be full of spiders.
I doubt that.
You don't think so? It's a nice envelope, but it has sticky. Oh, it's an actual check for 75 American dollars. Thank you very. That's quite generous. And yes, we will apply this to the show. That it?
That's it.
That is it for mail. If you'd like to send mail of your own, visit hellocreaturefeatures.com. There you will find instructions on how to send us something in the post, something by email, or if you'd like to send a truck full of peaches. It's peach season, you know.
It is.
And you like peaches.
I like peaches.
And we could use a truckload of them, right?
I will try to make a peach dessert.
It's the first time he agrees with me.
Peach cobbler.
Just visit that website, and it'll have all the instructions you need to send us something in the mail. We'll be right back with Bryan soon, but first let's get back to the Gamma People from 1956. See you soon. Friends, don't forget we've got a second YouTube channel. It's at cfextras.com. You'll find all the extra stuff we create there, so don't miss out. Subscribe today. You know, Bryan, our director, who's hiding over there, thinks this film is like the cartoon called Santa Claus is Coming to Town.
Which I've not seen.
Yeah, I've seen it. I think he's mad. I think you've gone bonkers, Tom.
Nope.
He's gone bonkers.
Looks just like it.
No. So some of the characters may seem the same, but it's a different production, I think. Anyways, welcome back to the show. If you're just joining us, we are watching The Gamma People from 1956, and we're joined by Bryan Tedric, who is, what kind of artist welds giant things? Is there a name for this?
Sculptor, just a metal sculptor.
So sculpting does not necessarily mean
Carving stones and that sort of thing. No,
Right.
that's the sort of the Renaissance idea of what sculpture is. But today, people can work in many mediums.
right. Metal sculpture,
yeah.
plastic.
Anything three-dimensional.
Right.
And now there are people broadening the definition of sculpture by doing environmental pieces. You know, the Andy Goldsworthys,
Right.
people like that, people doing environmental art, spray painting birds on the hills, that kind of thing.
Right.
But
Well, you've done a coyote.
I've done a very large coyote.
What's this one called?
Well, this was also a commission through Burning Man, and this is called Coyote. It was the first monumental animal that I'd ever made
Monumental in what way?
in terms of scale.
Oh.
I'd done life-size animals, such as the horse that I mentioned
Right.
previously, but this is 26 feet tall and larger than anything I'd ever made. And I thought, you know, going to the desert and being in that environment, what would be a suitable beast to put there, and what would sort of fit the burner mentality? What would they like to see out there? And I thought Coyote is a perfect fit.
Of course, no,
a
it
bunch
is.
of renegades making their own rules.
Right. So when you bring these things up, is it fully assembled, or do you have to weld while you're there?
No, everything has to be built so that it can ship down the road. So that means nothing wider than 8 feet.
Right.
And nothing taller than about 10 feet. So they're all in segments. So that particular piece, I think, is in 6 sections. So the front legs are one section, the hind legs are another, the torso another, the head another, the tail another, and then there's the base itself.
So you arrive, you get there, and while all these festival goers are having fun, you're out there welding.
Well, they actually let honorarium artists in early, so I get to come in a week early. And,
Oh.
and those in the know that's the best week of the show before the gates open to the general public.
Because?
Everybody's larders are full, and it's the coolest people because it's all artists.
Oh.
And we all party together before the general public arrives.
I see.
So,
Right,
that's cool.
before the hoi polloi arrive.
That's right. Anyway, it also gives me a time to assemble the piece, and Burning Man supplies the heavy equipment, cranes, forklifts,
Really?
that sort of
I
thing.
had no idea.
Yeah. And because my pieces all bolt together, it simplifies the construction process, and then I don't have to do any on-site welding.
Right.
So
Because you would have to cut it to take it out, right?
it would be a pain. It would be a big pain.
right.
So I have a skeleton crew, often inviting family members, my son, my nephew, some of his friends from Big Sur, and maybe a handful of people, and we can put it all together.
How wonderful. What a fun trip. So much. Forget Disneyland. Go to Burning Man and build a giant coyote, right?
Dad's vacations are the best.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. All right, let's get back to this film. When we come back, we're going to take a look at one of your bigger items, and we'll talk about that when we come back. But first, let's get back to the Gamma People. I think, sort of. Maybe the beta people. We'll see.
Hello, my name is Ricky Silva. I'm from Snyder, Texas. I just watched one of your videos on YouTube, and man, I love it, man. I love the host. I love the way y'all break and read letters and do the messages. I just want to thank y'all. I'm going to keep watching y'all. Thank you so much, man.
Welcome back to the show. We are watching the Gamma People with artist Bryan Tedric, sculptor, metal sculptor, welding sculptor, Bryan Tedric. Real quick before we talk about your work, this film, so the Gamma People are mean children and goons is really what we're looking at. That's what the Gamma People are, which I don't know. I suppose any type of radiation would make someone a goon, would it not?
I don't have an opinion on that one.
I have the exact same opinion as you. So, do you ever use any radiation in your work?
If you consider welding radiation, I use that.
Right. No, I bet you could make a rather fashionable bomb shelter with your skills, right? No, lead. You'd have to use lead. You'd make it out of metal, and then you'd lay lead on the front. And have you ever welded lead before?
Lead is something you solder rather than weld. It has a very low melting point,
right,
like 600 degrees. But I have melted lead to use as a counterbalance element in some, in some gates.
For that balancing we spoke of before.
I used to make counterbalance gates and still would, but I was the gate guy in the 90s.
How wonderful.
And made gates.
That explains quite a bit.
Made gates for people like Wolfgang Puck.
That's a very special skill to be able to weld those custom gates, because they're always rather ornate, right?
Depends on the client. I take my clues from the client. Sometimes they're ornate, sometimes they're more simple and elegant. It really depends on the site and what the client wants.
All right. Well, this is not a gate, but take a look at this giant thing up on your screen right now. You call this the minaret?
This is the minaret. Yeah, this was also commissioned by Burning Man, and the theme that year had to do with a city, the metropolis.
Right.
And they put this piece right dead center at center camp. So all the crossroads came, and this was the most prominent piece on the playa.
Probably the tallest as well, right?
48 feet tall, and it's climbable, so you can climb up on the outside halfway, and then there's a portal you go in to scale up to the very top.
Now, I was going to ask you about this. First off, they commission this. Do they actually say what they want, or do they say, we want something like this, you design it?
No, you, as an artist, come up with a proposal, and then they either accept it or reject it. And Burning Man, the administration they're pretty hip. They really understand the creative process, and that the artist sometimes comes up with new ideas en route to the final product, and they allow you to make some of that, have that poetic charge.
As they should.
Yeah, right. But they're also a business, and they want to know what they're getting for their money. So you have to supply drawings and scale. Like if you say this is going to be 48 feet, Bryan, and it comes in at 28 feet, that's not going to make it.
So my other question was this. All these people climbing on these things, especially like a 48-foot minaret, I mean, people must be falling off these things and dying or being injured greatly.
Well, the joke was I put a sign at the bottom that said, not no climbing, but I said no falling.
Oh, that's even better.
Yeah. So for some reason, self-preservation is a pretty strong reflex, and people don't want to fall. But I did have it built so that they're only 20 feet off the ground on the outside, but once you go through the portal on your ascension up,
right.
then you're enclosed in an area and can't fall.
That decreases the chance of death by 50%, right?
Something like that.
No. Well, it's like if they're going to climb on something like that, the risk is their own, right?
Well, the risk is mine as well if somebody were to get hurt. So it is important to say...
But no one's died on any of your artwork, right?
There's been a few injuries, but no deaths.
Van Gogh was never able to say that. He never knew. Maybe somebody died because of his artwork, but for sure nobody has. All right, let's get back to this film. And when we come back, we're going to talk some more about what you're doing next and other fun things in the future, right?
Sounds like a plan.
All right, off we go to the Gamma people. Don't you dare go away. Things are going to get more fun. Guaranteed. Maybe.
Hello, this is Mr. Livingston. It would appear I have been tasked with requesting you to help our show financially by visiting our Patreon page. Your generosity will help us keep Creature Features on the air. With only a few dollars a month from you, your kindness will allow us to continue creating new entertainment for your viewing pleasure each and every week. And if you have the desire to give more, you might even receive a gift from Tangela. I think not. Please visit the website below to learn more. Thank you.
Tangela, a young lady should not be playing with a gentleman's tools. You missed.
Welcome back to Creature Features. We're with Bryan Tedric, sculptor extraordinaire. He makes giant things and small things as well, but you stick to giant now, right?
Well, I'll make anything. If there's a commission, I'll make it.
Right.
It's just there aren't that many people that can do the large work, and so if that's what you want,
That's your specialty.
I'm the guy.
No, that's your specialty. You have specific skills and probably the equipment. You must have either some very strong chaps who help you lift these things, or you have all kinds of cranes and pulleys.
Yeah, it's more the latter. I have an overhead hoist. You'll be surprised how simple it really is. It's a welder basically and a torch.
Right.
And then some lifting equipment. That's pretty much all you need. And like I said earlier, everything's built in modules and components that can be shipped.
Right.
So it never gets too large until it's all put
cutting
together.
Metal, right?
I'm cutting metal.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But I can have a lot of work prefabricated at the steel yard.
Oh, nice.
They have big hydraulics
Right.
and cutting machines
Right.
that can do a cleaner job than I can do by hand. So that helps a lot in doing the larger pieces.
Nice. Speaking of larger pieces, look at these wings. These are huge. I don't know of any bird in existence that has wings this large.
Well, this piece is called Spread Eagle and was the very first piece that I was commissioned to build for Burning Man.
Very first.
And I was the very last one to be accepted that year. One project couldn't make it, and so they had an extra chunk of money, and they asked me to make this piece.
Oh, nice.
So I just slipped in the back door, and it turned out to be one of the most sought-after pieces on the planet. It was a wonderful photo op in that there's a frame that's 6 feet in diameter, scale of a human.
Right.
And people there was a line, 20 deep for people waiting to line up to get there, sit in the center, and have their photo taken. And on top of that, the wings are kinetic, so they are also spinning in the wind out there. One particular performance I remember was a young martial artist at dawn doing a sword set inside the circle, and it's quite lovely and
Right.
a very dramatic moment. So
How
some
wonderful.
good
And
memories.
you're
Some good
there to
memories.
see all this.
Well,
It's not like you build it and say, okay, off you go.
No, it's my responsibility to maintain the piece and make sure that it's functioning properly and that sort of thing.
How wonderful.
And then at nighttime, everything has to be lit because the days are so harsh in terms of the heat and the
course.
dust
Right.
that there aren't as many people out. But the nocturnal crowd definitely arrives. And so I have to keep the generator going, put lights on
my
it,
goodness.
and that sort of thing. Make sure people
Wow.
don't get hurt.
Right.
Or at least do my due diligence.
Fun. And again, nobody died on the wings.
This
right?
was that was a relatively safe one, but I realized in making that piece that people love pieces that move.
Right.
They like to climb.
Right.
And so it spurred the thought of doing future pieces that
and
have those
you
elements.
took that to the next level.
I
and
did.
Then some.
I did.
All right, what do you say we wrap up this film, and then when we come back, we shall find out how people can find your work, your website, and also what you're doing next, right?
Sounds like good.
All right, off we go to the end of the Gamma people. Don't go away when the credits roll, because we shall be here. Tangela will be sitting here with her opinion of the movie, and you won't want to miss that. See you soon.
This portion of Creature Features is brought to you by CreatureFeatureStore.com, the official merchandiser of Creature Feature accessories.
And that ends the Gamma people. Another film ends by fire. So many films end this way. I don't know why.
Well, things are created by fire too.
That's true. That's true. Like the story of the Phoenix, right? Did you like the film? She likes these silly old films. I shout newer films sometimes, and she's like, meh. But she sees an older film, black and white. She's, I think, an old soul who's come back in this tiny new body, and she still wants to watch old films. But, we need to get her to see more new movies. I think that's the key. Anyways, what's next for Bryan?
Well, I have a few irons in the fire, so to speak. There are always public art projects that I applied for. Hopefully land some of those. There are also wineries interested.
Oh, of course, we have so many of those around here.
It's a chance to make your winery distinctive or whatever your business may be.
Right.
And then I also invariably have work on my own home and property that I'm building a treehouse in the Redwoods right now.
Oh, how wonderful.
Yeah, it's wonderful. A place I really love.
Right.
And but something functional. But art is really where my heart is, and so I'm always looking for a creative outlet.
Right.
Wherever there may be a chance to do something unusual. I hate doing, rudimentary things.
No, like plain gates. Right.
That's right.
So how do we learn more about you? What's your website?
Very simple, BryanTedric.com, and Bryan's with a Y.
Right. BryanTedric.com.
And just contact me by email.
That's right. If you have a winery, if you've got some large facility, you want a giant piece of work, he's the man. But you'll do small stuff too.
As long as it's interesting. If you want to do grapes and grape leaves, I'm not your guy. But if you want maybe a few thorns, then contact me.
No. How about haunted gates for a haunted mansion?
I'd love it.
Maybe we'll have to talk. All right. Well, thank you so much, Bryan, for coming all the way out and doing the show. And we wish you the best of luck.
Well, I appreciate the invitation. It's a pleasure to meet you and to see your scene here.
Thank you. As far as you guys go, thank you so much for staying up late and watching our silly show. We know you could have been watching Saturday Night Live or that other movie that was on Channel 4, but you were here with us, and I think you had more fun, right? Didn't they have more fun with us? You'll always have more fun with us. See you next week, and don't forget, we love you. So, Bryan, this piece of armor I have over here, I'm thinking of having it replaced, and perhaps you could create a sculpture that looks like me.
think you might want to stick with the Knight.